So I found something interesting while going through KIA. It's this Kickstarter project called #Gamer. And if we go over to the Kickstarter page, it's created by Chris Haynes. And in the description it says, #Gamer is a full-length documentary film about online harassment, ethics, and moving the video game community forward after Gamergate. So from the description it seems kind of interesting, at least at face value. But already I kind of have a problem with it. This description sort of implies that there's going to be an after for Gamergate, as if it's really just going to end. And Gamergate ending is something that's been covered by a lot of more major people on YouTube, certainly more major than me. And there's this idea that it's not really going to end, that it's going to just become this sort of watchdog the way it is right now, becoming activated, essentially, whenever something silly is going on. So let's just take a look at the overview here. #Gamer is a documentary about video games and the people who create, play, and talk about them. It's about toxicity on the internet. It's about feminism. It's about Twitter. It's about how we communicate with each other. It's about death threats and using SWAT teams as puppets. It's about censorship. It's about #Gamergate. And yes, it's about ethics in games journalism. So interestingly enough, this seems like a very balanced overview of the entirety of the issue, because a lot of the events surrounding #Gamergate aren't just about ethics in games journalism. Because #Gamergate means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So, taken as a whole, not saying this is right, however, but taken as a whole, Gamergate is about toxicity on the internet. It is about feminism. It's definitely about Twitter. It is about death threats, and censorship and ethics in games journalism. These are all issues that have existed long before they were associated with the hashtag. There's a lot of misinformation about #Gamergate on all sides. That's kind of interesting, implying that both Gamergate and anti-Gamergate could be wrong about what it is, kind of implying that it's not about harassing women out of the games industry, and it's not about ethics in games journalism. Whatever, that doesn't... Part of what we hope to accomplish is to provide a clear understanding of the people and factions involved and the series of events that has so fiercely divided the games community and the internet at large. So this is still very encouraging. I like this. This seems like a very fairly balanced outsider's perspective documentary film, and I think that's something that would be helpful for everyone, not just for the people in Gamergate, but for the people outside, the neutrals who are still on the fence, who can see that there needs to be reform, but also see people being harassed. And that's not our fault. We know this. Come on. But it is important to note that we aren't just looking to document the history of #Gamergate. There are plenty of YouTube videos and viral images that attempt to do that already. We are much more interested in having the conversation about how to put this past us. So again, this is coming from the idea that Gamergate will be over, or is over, or whatever, which is a very anti-Gamergate view set. Because I think, as I said previously, I think for a lot of people in #Gamergate, there's this sort of permanence in the movement. It's not really a movement so much as an idea that there should be ethics and anti-censorship and free artistic expression, things like that. There's more than two sides to every story, and rarely only one right answer. It's our hope that by highlighting the good with the bad, we can encourage our community to start treating each other like people again, resulting in a friendlier, more positive internet for everyone. So, on paper, right, this is a very neutral project. On paper, anyway. Just looking at this right now, it seems like it could be good, but the idea that Gamergate is something to move past or something that isn't permanent sort of leads me to believe that there could be more of an anti-GG bias to this thing. But at least on paper, it looks neutral so far. Where do we stand? We've been working on #Gamer in our spare time since January. We've traveled the country talking to industry professionals and those on the front lines of social change in the digital era. That said, there's still... this is just saying how far along they are with production. This has nothing to do with their political stance. Okay, never mind, skipping that. Where's the money go? Yada yada yada. It's not important. Our team, again, not really important. Okay, so the rest of the page has almost no information as to what the rest of the project is going to look like. It's much more of the, if you give your money to me, I swear to God I won't blow it on hookers and cocaine. So why don't we take a look at this trailer? It's only 2 minutes, it shouldn't take that long.
If you ask 10 people what Gamergate is, you'll probably get at least 5 different answers. For some people, it's been a movement for better ethics in games journalism.
When was the last time there was a sociological event in video games that broke through not only our community, but into the mainstream media?
For other people, it's been a movement of harassment against women.
I think this core psychological motivation of Gamergaters are people that feel that the game culture is under attack. Their empathy is criminally low. Like, they don't see me as a person. They don't see Zoe Quinn as a person.
So far this has nothing to do with ethics in games journalism. All they did is put Stephen Totillo up on the front page, right? And this is a lot more baity than I honestly thought it was going to be. But Brianna Wu said something interesting. She said that our empathy is criminally low. That's pretty bold. Because all I've seen out of anti-Gamergaters, including Brianna, is the denial of any transgression on the part of Gamergaters or even gamers, honestly. And it's so fucking funny that Brianna Wu could sit here and talk about empathy when she called an actual autistic person a gross fucking aspie. But anyway, let's keep watching here.
Anything I do gets bombarded with hate. When a documentarian or a journalist or an academic asks to see it, when they ask to go through it, I'm like, okay, well, do you want the stuff that involves naked photos of me? Do you want the child pornography they send me? Or my home address photoshopped onto mutilated children's bodies?
And you don't have to like Zoe Quinn. I mean, if you just look at the stuff people tweeted her, there's the unending stream of garbage and bullshit that people tweeted her. I mean, who deserves that?
So I absolutely love anti-Gamergate and how they constantly want to make the talk about Zoe Quinn. Perpetual victim, of course. Obviously. Including her and not Nathan Grayson is telling enough. Just on its own, it is.
The vocal minorities is so loud that you can't ignore it. And then, once everybody's like taking a stance or putting it on a pedestal, and that's how things become viral.
It's pure negativity. And beyond that, pure hatred and isolation, and I just don't understand it.
I know, man. I don't understand it either. I don't know why there's always this talk about Goombel Grampers being the worst people and a vocal minority who just hate women. I don't know why everyone believes that. I'm sure it has nothing to do with anti-Gamergate going on about it all the time, when the people in Gamergate just want to talk about how fucking Nathan Grayson, while writing about the Steam refunds, which I covered a couple weeks ago, just absolutely had to talk about one of his friends without disclosing it, because that's just how Nathan Grayson does. And that's all I want to talk about. But you fuckers keep bringing it back to Zoe Quinn and how hard her life is. And Brianna Wu won't shut the fuck up about how hard her life is. And they keep kicking down our door, telling us how terrible their lives are because of all the harassment they've received. But maybe that's just my misogyny talking, I don't know.
Nothing changed. If anything, it's gotten worse.
Implying that Gamergaters are just trolls. Look at how they go back to Stephen Totillo's sad little manlet face. Look at him, he looks sad to be alive right now. Honestly, what I'm more pissed off about is creating this idea that ethics is this sort of boogeyman, and their pursuit of it is, hey look, maybe they kind of have a point with the witch hunt comparison. I'm not saying it's an actual witch hunt, but I can see how it would seem that way, and surely the only reason why it seems that way is because so many of these fuckers have zero personal ethics or professional ethics. So, you're goddamn right when someone from the community takes a look at any journalist ever from now on and says, I wonder, have they done anything unethical recently? I think based on the behavior of the games journalist outlets so far, it's not really that crazy to assume that they're going to be unethical from the get-go. Like I said, Nathan Grayson just can't fucking stop. Lee Alexander just can't fucking stop. So I think it's justified. And honestly, if you don't want to be a target of the witch hunt or whatever, keep your fucking nose clean. It's really not that hard. A lot of it is just asking for simple disclosures. If Nathan Grayson, here we go, here's a good point. If Nathan Grayson, in that Steam article, would have just said, hey, I'm friends with Nina, BT dubs, I'd be okay with it. Because at least that would give him some context as to why he's supporting her retarded opinion on Steam refunds. Ugh, Jesus Christ. Alright, Steve, what do you got for me?
I see some people say, hey, it's the internet. This is how it's always going to be. But I also sense that there's a growing number of people who say, why does it have to be this way? Why can't we treat each other better?
You know, he actually does have kind of a good point. Why don't we stop calling each other wailing hyper-consumers or shit-slingers? You know, I think we really need to work together on this issue if we're going to make actual demonstrable change, Stephen. And I'm willing to help. Let's take the first step together.
I wasn't like this feminist figurehead. I was somebody who made weird games about mental health and farts and stuff. And my life is completely different now. My dream is dead.
You know what, Zoe, let's actually just go real quick. Let's just go take a look at your Patreon page. $3,975 a month. I agree. Your life is completely different. And as far as your dream being dead, you're in a very unique, let's say, position to where anything that you create is going to immediately gain an immense amount of foot traffic. Not just from people who play video games, but from the journalists who have your back now. And I argue that with that very nearly $4,000 a month for free, you could probably go out and buy a new dream. Yep, hashtag terrorism. I'm calling it right now. This is going to be a sock-just holy grail. I'll bet $5 internet dollars and my majority stake in hashtag Gamergate that this is going to be a sock-just holy grail. I'm excited. This is going to be really fun. So let's take a look at the FAQ section, because now it's relevant, now that we watched the trailer together. Your trailer seems one-sided. Is a better word. But are you making efforts to contact members of GG and other groups? We've heard this question a lot so far, and it's a fair one. In the short of it, yes, absolutely. So, fellow members of Gamergate, I want to know, have you been contacted? Really let me know. I'd love to see who they've actually reached out to. Because, I mean, honestly, there's a pretty easy short list. So actually, coming off of the numbers from the straw poll, it seems like it would be great to contact William Usher, Sargon of Akkad, Milo, Christina Hoff Sommers, Oliver Campbell. I mean, these are all pretty good people to at least reach out to. I mean, Mundane Matt, if you're going to fucking throw Zoe Quinn in there, you might as well throw in Mundane Matt. That could be some pretty interesting dynamics to show. I don't know. Unless they reach out to those people, this is going to be completely one-sided, let's be honest. But here's something really, really interesting. When we began production, we reached out to a short list of people across the spectrum. Some did not respond. Some respectfully declined. The rest we interviewed. Now, if you haven't... I know for a fact that if you reached out to any of these people, William Usher, Oliver Campbell, Sargon, definitely Mundane Matt, you know, he's part of the Shalominati. If you reached out to any of those people, they would abso-fucking-lutely participate. I know that for a fact. So I'm really interested to see who they reached out to who declined. But going forward, is this documentary only about Gamergate? No. Gamergate received a ton of attention in both the gaming community and the mainstream media over the last year. However, the conversations we've seen as part of Gamergate have been going on much longer than that and represent concerns that are not exclusive to video games. We're looking to present Gamergate as a part of a larger narrative about online harassment, censorship, Twitter culture, and ethics that includes not just games, but sci-fi, politics, Reddit, etc. So, here's something. Further evidence that this is just going to be the sock just holy grail. Sci-fi. Obviously sad puppies, come on. Maybe that's why they threw Brianna Wu in there. Politics, I mean, look at Brianna Wu's post from the other day. She sees this as liberal versus conservative. I really don't know what else this could be other than a sock just holy grail. I don't know. But, I really don't know. But, apparently we can email them in order to suggest who we'd like to see interviewed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to email them to reach out to the people I've already mentioned. I would highly recommend that you do the same. But for anyone who's involved with Gamergate, have you been contacted by these people? Please let me know. Send me an email, floopnetwork@gmail.com. I'll put a link to it in the description. Hit me up on Twitter, hit me up here, anything. I want to know. I'm curious. Let me know what you guys think about this. Follow me on Twitter, subscribe to me on YouTube. More Gamergate stuff coming soon. Have a great day.